The Calgary Flames have made the steal of this season. With new details emerging in the Sean Monahan trade to Winnipeg, this has huge implications for the Flames moving forward. Welcome to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're a big Flames fan and you like what you see here, make sure you subscribe for all of the latest news, updates, and rumors surrounding the Calgary Flames. And I just want to say thank you so much for the support recently. The channel's starting to take off a bit, and I sincerely appreciate all of the positive interaction from you guys. So thank you very, very much. But in the NHL season, the trade season is now officially in full swing. Obviously, the Flames, they set the tone. They traded Lindholm to the Vancouver Canucks. And now a player who many people were comparing this season were Lindholm and Sean Monahan, both now former Flames. And Sean Monahan has now been dealt from the Montreal Canadiens over to the Winnipeg Jets. And I would really like to see what the difference is between those trades. How did the Flames do? So let's compare these returns. Are they comparable? Absolutely. So if you haven't heard already, I mean, this happened yesterday now, but Sean Monahan, of course, went from Montreal over to Winnipeg, and Winnipeg coughed up a first-round pick and a conditional third. The condition, quite crazy. It's if the Jets win the cup by, I believe, 2027, then it's a third-round pick. Pretty crazy. I mean, to win a cup is the condition is pretty crazy there. But obviously, you see Monahan going over to Winnipeg. Montreal getting another first-round pick. Now, originally, when the Flames dealt Monahan to Montreal, Montreal also got another first-round pick in that trade because at the time it was seen as, the Flames getting rid of cap space. Monahan, I don't want to be harsh and say a liability, but just too injury-prone and wasn't seen as part of the future in Calgary anymore, especially with Gaudreau and Tkachuk leaving as well. But now Monahan, fresh start in Winnipeg. He's been doing a little better this season. And of course, let's look back at the Flames trade. So the Flames, they traded away Lindholm and got way more back than Montreal did for Monahan. The Flames get Kuzmenko. They get a couple great prospects, including Hunter Brusiewicz, third in the OHL in scoring for a defenseman. He has been killing it on the Kitchener Rangers. A first-round pick as well. A fourth, Yoni Yermo. I mean, come on. Very good return for the Flames there. So there's no denying the Flames got a way better return than Montreal did for the two players. Is there a big reason for that? I would tend to think so. Let's look at the base stats of how both Lindholm and Monahan are doing this season. So this is just the normal stats that everyone normally looks at. And this is based off just this season. So same amount of games played. Monahan, 4 more goals than Lindholm. Lindholm just 1 more assist. So Monahan easily winning in the points. Plus minus, both not doing fantastic. I mean, it's hard to when you're not on a super great team. Lindholm obviously taking a few more penalties there. But Monahan, the big thing for him is that he has been so much better on the power play than Lindholm has. Lindholm seen as a power play guy in Calgary, but obviously with him gone now, Kuzmenko comes in and hopefully he can really be a lethal threat on the power play. But Monahan going crazy on the power play this year. And then you look at some of those more defensive stats, Lindholm definitely takes the cake there. So for the type of players that these guys are, it looks like Monahan might have the edge there. He's got more goals, more points, has been chipping in on the power play. That's what contenders want, right? Well, it's not always that easy. Lindholm does more. He plays more in the defensive end. And so let's take a deeper dive into their actual bigger stats that matter more, not as much on a superficial level like goals and assists do and plus minus and the simple stats, the stats that most casuals would look at. But we like to take a deeper dive here. So let's take a look first at Sean Monahan, and this is just based off this season. The graph you're looking at, it's thanks to Evolving Hockey, but pretty much what it shows is that this season, that little graph there on the left shows that Monahan's been okay. Goals for per 60, he's in the positive, but goals against per 60, way down deep in the red. So it shows maybe he's not the most fantastic in the defensive end. When he's on the ice, his team is definitely more likely to concede than to score. The graph on the right there shows power play time, and he's been doing fantastic on the power play. So Monahan, seen more as just a scoring forward. He's not the fastest guy. He definitely is aided by more speedy, skilled players that are playmakers. Think of when he played with Gaudreau. How many primary assists did Gaudreau get with Monahan? With Monahan just parked in front. Monahan, fantastic player. I'm so glad he's playing so much better this year. A fresh start in Winnipeg as well. That's super, super cool for him. Hopefully Winnipeg treats him well because, I mean, as Flames fan, we still have part of our hearts contains Sean Monahan. So hopefully he does really well there. But let's take a look at Elias Lindholm now. So Lindholm, this is based off of the last 3 seasons, not just this season. But I think it clearly shows that Lindholm is definitely a lot better in the defensive end. There's a little bit in the red there, but not by much. It's a very, very light shade of red, definitely more baby pink than anything. But pretty much what that means is that he is not a liability in the defensive end. And as you can see on the left there as well, the very far left, it goes quite a bit high with that purple one going high up. That shows that when he's on the ice, his team is definitely more likely to score than give up a goal. And then on the right there is the power play stats over the last 3 seasons. Now, this season hasn't been fantastic. Last season wasn't fantastic. But of course, the year before was super, super fantastic. So are these graphs skewed by that one season? Is that one season, a couple seasons ago, when he was with Gaudreau and Tkachuk and the Flames were unbelievable? Is that an outlier? Not necessarily. I'd say more this year is the outlier of the stats aren't fantastic. But look, Lindholm kills penalties. Back in the day when Gaudreau and Tkachuk and himself were all pretty much top 5 in the league in plus minus, Lindholm was obviously the one doing more of the dirty work that actually paid off. Obviously, Tkachuk was doing the actual dirty work when it comes to drawing penalties and being chippy and just trying to get at the other team's players. But Lindholm, a stud in the defensive end. Offensively, obviously has cooled off quite a bit this year, but he's still Elias Lindholm. We know what he's capable of. I think Vancouver has seen that, and they've got a great guy going forward. Is he likely to stay in Vancouver after this season? I don't know. Vancouver has a lot of UFAs coming up in the next offseason or two. The next couple offseasons, they will have over 10 free agents to sign. So is there a chance that Lindholm is purely just a rental this year and could come back to Calgary? It's not out of the question. Elias, please don't sell your home in Calgary. Keep it. We want you here. We will take you back. It also, I think Lindholm, he wouldn't be asking for a $10 million a year contract as maybe he could have after the 2021-2022 season. But I think Lindholm could definitely go for $8 million or less. Flames could definitely afford that with the direction they're going. Is it a rebuild? Are they just majorly retooling? I don't know. I think it's more the owner than the GM at this point saying, I'd rather retool than rebuild. Obviously, Conroy has said that it's just a retool and he's not willing to rebuild. Wants to keep a competitive environment. Bring back Lindholm, and that era of are we rebuilding, retooling could be definitely shortened. Shorten that window and be a contender again, or at least a solid playoff team. So it's very, very interesting. The last thing I want to comment on in this video is buying into the future. So I really think that this trade, the Lindholm trade out to Vancouver, and how it compares to Sean Monahan going out to Winnipeg, is that it shows that Calgary is willing to get the most out of what they can give. What they're willing to give away, they need to get a bunch back. And clearly they've shown it's for the future. Kuzmenko, a guy who they want to develop, want him to become that great goal scorer again like he was in his rookie season last year. And if not, you can develop him, try and get him back on his feet, and flip him at next year's trade deadline. And he can be, maybe a rental back in Vancouver, just like Chris Tanev might be this year as well. I don't know what it is about the Flames and Canucks, but they love doing business together. It kind of makes it harder to hate each other when you have so many of the opposing team's old players and they still have a part in your heart. But really, the Flames, like I said, they got back a first-round pick, 2 very good prospects, 1 elite prospect, and Kuzmenko. I mean, they're definitely showing that the future is going to be brighter than it has been, and that the Flames aren't going to back down and just take whatever they want back. I mean, you look at some of the trades the Flames have made around the deadline in previous years, it's always been buyers, but it's never been anything huge. I mean, I look at Oscar Fantenberg and Eric Gustafsson. What were we thinking? Were those guys going to be the ones that led us to the cup? Definitely not. I don't know. I'm so much happier with Conroy than I think I ever was with Tree Living. I mean, at the time of the Huberdeau trade, I thought Brad Tree Living was maybe my hero, but now we all know how that went, and definitely seems as though Florida has won that trade. But in Conroy, we trust. I totally believe in him. I believe in the Flames now. It's super, super exciting times to be a Flames fan, just knowing that the Flames are really going to buy into that future. They want the young guys to not only be part of the organization, but to play, give them a shot, keep them in a competitive environment. It's all really, 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 really nice to hear. That about does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you liked what you saw here, make sure you subscribe. If you love the Flames, this is definitely the place to be. And just on behalf of Flames Digest and all of Digest Media, really, really appreciate the support lately. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. I really, really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. I know the Flames community is the best in the NHL, second to none. So I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your All-Star weekend.